welcome back to my RV kitchen. Today, as you probably guessed by the intro, it's all about the Instant Pot. So I did 3 meals without this little accessory, and then for the last meal today I used one of these inserts with their lid. I got this on Amazon. I'll leave the link down below and on my blog post that matches today's video. It comes with the holder, and then there's 2 pots. One has a steamer lid, so you can actually steam vegetables or fish or whatever you fancy steaming in that one. And then this one comes with a solid lid, and this is the one I used for my 4th meal today. It was meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and the mashed potatoes went on the bottom of the insert, and then this I used the original trivet. You'll see it in the video, and use this. So if you want to purchase one, you can. If not, the recipe does say you can use make a foil tin. You know, use heavy duty foil and make some sort of tin, and you'll need a lid too. I'll explain more of that in the video too. So if you're new here, welcome. Anyone coming back, good to see y'all again. And I just thought I'd introduce myself. I have a lot of new subscribers, and my name is Melanie, aka Bubbles, and my husband and I live in the RV full-time, and we travel job to job, so we never know where we're going next. That's the part we love. And I do cooking on Mondays. I give you 4 meals, all sorts of different meals, and on my website I'll put the directions and the ingredients, and also if you're looking for a specific recipe or a recipe for, say, an Instant Pot or the oven or a slow cooker, there's a tab on my website, which is www.rvlifeintheusa.com. Look for the tab that says Find a Recipe, and I have all of my recipes listed since June of last year, with what I make and how I make it, what kitchen appliance I use. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Now today's recipes were all made out of the 6 Sisters Stuff Instant Cooking Cookbook. Here's the cookbook, and I do have this linked also. But it's a great cookbook. Every recipe has a picture, and I love that because you can see it, what it's going to look like. And they have desserts, side dishes, dinners, breakfast, and sort of simple things like how to steam broccoli. And so if you want to follow along with me on this, I put the page numbers. If you don't have the cookbook, then I have a link where you can go to their website, and it lists all the ingredients and how to cook it. So you don't have to have the cookbook. This is just an option. Let's get cooking. The first thing we're going to do for this meal is cook the pasta. So we're going to place the noodles and the water in the Instant Pot. You want to mix the noodles and make sure they're all covered with the water. It calls for 3 cups. Here goes 2 and 1 more. Now I had a 16-ounce pack of fettuccine, but I only used 12 ounces, or what I thought was 12 ounces. You don't need the whole pack. Next, while the noodles are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cut up the onion and then get the shrimp ready. So this is just 1 onion finely chopped. Now it calls for a pound of shrimp, peeled and deveined. I got these at Walmart, but I did get the wild caught shrimp. I think they taste a little better. but that's personal preference. If I was in South Carolina, I'd be buying them on the street corner. They're really good, but they don't have them on the street corner in Ohio. But these tasted good. The whole meal was fantastic and so simple. We're sprinkling salt, pepper, and paprika. Now our noodles are done. We're going to get them out and set them aside. They look like they were kind of stuck together, but when I put them in the sauce at the end, it all incorporated. It was fine. So if yours look like this, don't worry. Next, we're going to saute, put in some olive oil, and we're going to cook our shrimp. It's about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. I just stirred them up. Like in the ingredients, it says when the shrimp's done, the outside's going to be a pink color, inside will be white, and you want to get them out. You don't want to overcook them because they're going to continue to cook when you put them back in the sauce too. You can see them getting a little pinker here. There's just a couple that won't cook through, so I just turned those over, gave them about a minute, and then I got everything out. It was taking forever with the tongs. You'll see me switch to a spoon here. There we go. Alright, then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and your onions and your garlic, and you're going to saute those. Once that's done, you're going to add your chicken broth and deglaze the bottom of the pan. Yeah, wooden spoons are better. I switched. You want to get all the bits off the bottom. Now we're going to add our 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. We're going to set the timer for 2 minutes. It's just supposed to let that simmer. So I'm going to give it a stir and then leave it for the 2 minutes. Alright, after that's up, you're going to add your Parmesan cheese. Stir that in. Going to add some salt and pepper and a little more paprika, and this is all to taste. Give that a stir, and then we're going to add back our shrimp and our noodles. And we're just going to give everything a stir and get the noodles into the sauce and covered. This was really good. I ask Big Daddy all the time, how many stars would you give it? I can give mine up to 5 stars on my paprika recipe manager. He told me to put 5 stars on this. So there you go. I hope you try it. First thing we're going to do for our ribs is sprinkle them with some barbecue seasoning or pork seasoning. I used the King Foods Cajun style all-purpose seasoning, and it was really good. So I did put that in the ingredients just so you know which one I did use, but you can use any seasoning that you like on your ribs. And I'm just getting that all rubbed in on both sides. And then in the Instant Pot, we're going to do 1.5 cups of apple juice. I have a half cup here, so I put 3 of those in. Going to add some liquid smoke. Some apple cider vinegar. All the measurements will be at the end of this clip, and of course on my website, rblightsintheusa.com. Blog post menu Monday, 5/3/21. Can you believe we're in May already? Time flies when you're having fun. Alright, we're just going to get all the ribs in here on the trivet. If you're hearing birds here, they are so happy. It was so warm yesterday. It's going to be another pretty day today. Alright, there's our ribs inside. We're going to set this to seal and cook high pressure 25 minutes. Alright, after they're done, you're going to let it natural release for 10 minutes, and then you can release the rest of the pressure. I'm spraying my baking sheet with some non-stick spray. We're going to get the ribs out, get them on the baking sheet, and put the barbecue sauce on them. Alright, we'll get that spread out, and then we'll turn them over and put sauce on the other side. Alright, and the directions tell you to put these under the broiler just so they caramelize. I put them in the e-mirror at 350 for 10 minutes, and they were fine. On the side, I heated up some baked beans and made some rice, and then dinner was served. It was fantastic. I love these boneless ribs. Here are your ingredients. I hope you give this one a try. Actually, try them all. For our chicken, the first thing I'm going to do is cut that up into bite-sized pieces per the directions, and also dice up 1 onion. I apologize if you're hearing rain. It is a nasty day while I'm editing today, and I apologize. Hopefully the music will not block it out. And once we get our prep work done, we are going to heat the Instant Pot on saute, and we're going to add in our chicken, onion, salt, pepper, and garlic, and then let that cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. We're waiting for the onions to get a little translucent. And once that's cooked, we're going to add in the rice. and this calls for 2 cups. We'll let that just simmer for a minute, and then we're going to put the lid on, make sure it's set to sealing, and then do pressure cook for 8 minutes. I forgot to tell you to add your chicken broth. My apologies. And that calls for a 15-ounce can low sodium chicken broth. I make my own with the bouillon, so I just did 16 ounces. You do a quick release when the time's up, and then you're going to add in your soup, your cheese, and your frozen vegetables. Alright, we'll just warm the vegetables through. Now I find this too thick, so I ended up adding another 16 ounces of chicken broth, a little at a time, just to get it to the consistency that I wanted. So you can do that. I thought about, maybe next time using 1 cup of rice, but this was really a good consistency. It just needed more chicken broth. So you may need to make sure you have an extra can. It was really good. The flavor of this was awesome. Big Daddy said 5 stars for sure. I have made chicken and rice before, but with a lot less ingredients. But this stepped it up a notch. For our meatloaf, we're going to cut up this half onion and chop it. Then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients it called for, which is eggs, not shell, the hamburger. Now I did get lean hamburger for this because I don't like my meatloaves to be greasy. And there's no way for the grease to get out of that particular pan. I used to have a meatloaf pan that I put in the oven, and the meat would sit on a little insert that had holes in it, so when you were done cooking it, you could pull it out and all the grease would be left in the meatloaf pan, and it was on the grate. But this didn't. So anyway, very lean meat here. We added the oats, the ketchup, salt and pepper. Now the Worcestershire sauce, and all these ingredients and measurements will be at the end of this clip and on my website rblifeintheusa.com. Now we're going to use half of the tomato soup in the meatloaf, and then the other half we're going to reserve for the topping. Now after washing my hands, I'm going to dig in here and get everything mixed up. I made the mistake of getting my hands dirty before I had my pot insert to put it in, so I had to get Big Daddy to come get it for me. Alright, so once you've got it all mixed, you're going to get it in your pan, whichever pot you're using, and get everything pressed down into the pot. And in the book it says if you don't have a pot, you can use aluminum foil and make one. Just make sure you make a lid too. The instructions did not say to put the lid on this pan, and I knew I was like, it'll get all wet and nasty, so I went back and watched the video that's on the link, and sure enough she put a lid on it. It just doesn't say it in the directions, so be sure to get the lid or make a lid with foil. Now we're mixing the other half of the soup with some brown sugar and another tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then we'll mix that up and spread that over the top of the meatloaf. And then you're going to put your potatoes in your pot with 1 cup of water, and then you set your pot with the meatloaf on a trivet and then put that on top of the potatoes. You're going to place your pot lid on, and then your Instant Pot lid, set that to seal. And we're going to do high pressure for 30 minutes. After that, you can do a quick release. I was watching something on television, so mine did natural for about 8 minutes. And then you're going to take off the steam of the Instant Pot lid and then your meatloaf lid, and you want to make sure that this is cooked all the way through. So I checked it for temperature to make sure it was like hamburgers, and then checked in the center, and it was all cooked through. So we're going to get this out, and then we're going to mash the potatoes. So I'm going to drain them first, and then add some butter, and the recipe called for milk. I use some heavy whipping cream to make it a little richer, but whichever you prefer. I didn't feel like getting out my hand mixer, so I just used my meat chopper for this, which worked just as well. And these potatoes are great. They were pre-washed 3 times, it said on the package, and they were just little gold potatoes, came in 1 pack. That was the entire pack, and it was just the right amount for just 2 people. If you have more people, you want to probably do more potatoes. Get bigger ones and chop them up. Here it is, and it was fantastic. We can give up to 5 stars on my recipe manager. I wanted to give this 10. I tell you, you have to try this. It's fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the recipes this week. They were all delicious. If I could have given them all 10 stars, I would. But I can only go up to 5. But all of them are going to get 5 stars. I hope you try them. If you don't try but one, do the meatloaf and mashed potatoes. So simple. They were all good though. If you made it to the end of the video with me, please leave me an emoji. This week, your choice of emoji. I'll see you next time on Menu Monday. Bye guys. Love you.